for me.
Fantastic.
I, c- I can, I can begin right now.
That's why.
Um,
So the meeting is live streamed. Perfect. Because
okay,
there's also simultaneous presentation on the other side in Turkish language, but this is being screened on the institute's screen. That's why perhaps
okay.
there is an issue with the other presenters. They try to
I
fix
see.
the issue to join the Zoom connection. So let's begin. And you're going to
Okay.
present us the reality gap outcomes of Nigerian vocational agricultural education, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So the floor is yours, and we're ready to hear your presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. Uh, okay. Good morning from Nigeria. My name is Michael Ikehi. Um, my title is The Reality Gap, Outcomes of Nigerian Vocational Agricultural Education. Um, Nigeria is often referred to as the giant of Africa. Well, this is due to its substantial economy, political influence, and large population. However, there is high unemployment. For a population of over 220 million people on about 9,600 square kilometers, finding the right job for everyone with their technical skills and educational qualification, sometimes it's really difficult. And for this reason, vocational education is often considered as a good and standard way for teaching and training students to help them get skills, competencies, and the right attitude to find a job or at least to create a job for themselves, given the condition that's available in the country. But this can only be possible if and when training institutions emulate the conditions of the labor market. For example, um, if the current labor market is highly digitized, meaning skills, production, and activities require the input of technology or combination of technology at different value chains. It is now important for universities and other institutions of learning to at least incorporate ICT and technology training in every aspect of production in the curriculum. So where this is not the case, or this is not possible, you find that there's a reality gap, which means what the students are prepared to experience differs strategically from what the labor market finally presents to them. So this study focuses on how a lack of synergy between training institutions and the labor market presents a reality gap. So what they have or what they were taught in the school differs significantly from what they experience in the labor market. So the question is, why this study? So this is a study that presents a TRISA report. This study presents a report that compares what graduates dreamed of doing before they graduated in 2017 versus the current reality. This is important because it provides a fresh perspective on how graduates of vocational education are navigating a challenging and evolving job market in Nigerian growing economy. Remember, vocational education was conceived as a way of skilling and tooling the students so that they prepare comfortably for the labor market. So if what they dreamed of now differs from the reality, then that's a gap. And that gap is what I am investigating. So this is a mixed method research, and it's a longitudinal study which began in 2017 with a survey. In 2024, 102 graduates, 49 males and 53 females of vocational agricultural education from Nigerian universities who had participated in 2017 study were purposely sampled. What this simply means is that in 2017, we conducted a study and asked them, okay, now you are in vocational education and you understand what vocational education is all about. What is your hope when you graduate? What do you hope to do? What do you think this certificate will do for you? And they gave their response. So data was collected between September and December 2024 using semi-structured questionnaire and interviews. The study examined the aspirations the students had before they graduated versus the realities they now face 7 years post-graduation. And this is the result. In 2017, 33.5% hope to be gainfully employed in any sector where there's vacancy. But 7 years later, only 17.1% were able to achieve that. This same 2017, 25% of them said they would teach in university, in institutions of higher learning, such as university, colleges of education, and etc. However, only 13.3% were able to secure such job. In 2017, 9.5 said they will further their education. That means they will go for masters and go for PhD or do any other degree. But in 2013, 18.7%, that's almost doubled, which simply means so those who said they will further their study were just 9.5%, but now more than 9.5%, doubling the number, meaning maybe they couldn't get a job, so they now went for school further. Also, those who said they would teach in secondary schools or other lower institutions were just 7.8% as of 2017. But in 2024, 24.6% of them, which means it's more than tripled the number. The same situation goes for those who wanted to own a farm, being that they were trained in vocational agriculture. 5.2% said they would own a farm, but 7.9% ended up getting a farm. But the most troubling in all is 2.5% who said they don't have an idea of what they are going to do as of 2017. In 2024, 7.8% of that, which means it has also tripled. So if those who are now in opening entrepreneurship as a way of survival are now into businesses, what kind of businesses are they into? 14% of them are into ICT inclined trades and services, while 13.1% are in retail of non-agricultural products. Others are in cosmetics, bakery, and confectionery. But don't forget, these are students trained in vocational agriculture. So you can see the migration from the places they thought they would work to the places they are now working, which shows a very serious gap in terms of aspiration versus reality. Okay, this is one of the responses from an interview, one student that was interviewed. And this is the response. I do not think I benefited much from the skill aspects of vocational education. Most of the things we were taught had no place in modern agricultural settings. We were taught about the uses and skills for cutlasses, hoes, and other simple farm tools. As a university graduate, if my skill level is simple farm tools, then I am deficient in smart agriculture, Internet of Things, drone technology, and blockchain technology in agriculture. I feel the school did not see these changes coming and make the necessary curriculum changes. And this is a response from another person. I have searched for jobs after graduating with little luck. Though I worked at a firm for about 6 months, but I didn't like the working conditions, so I quit the job and set out to create a business for myself. At least I am a graduate and I have a certificate to show for it, thanks to vocational agricultural education at the University of X and Y. And finally, this is a response from another person. The degree program might not have taught me something I know now, but it's certainly the foundation I built upon. My farm is doing well and I am planning to expand. I still rely on the knowledge from courses like farm business management to make some decisions. Though its contents were rudimentary, the skills and knowledge I acquired during my university days do come in handy. Okay, what is the implication of this? The study reveals that students are now finding themselves in unexpected career pathways. You dream of being a university lecturer, but today you are either in cosmetics, if you're lucky in ICT, if you're lucky in ICT. The second implication is that there's a crisis of relevance, graduates' prospects of outdated skills. You see the response from the interview. One of the major complaints is that the content being delivered is significantly different from the realities they are currently experiencing. Therefore, they find themselves arguing their relevance and the education they have gotten. In conclusion, the findings reveal a significant disparity between expectation of Nigerian vocational agricultural education graduates and the actual needs of the society. This reality gap not only deprives individuals of the opportunity for personal empowerment, but it also signifies a systematic inefficiency in addressing the economic and workforce requirements of the nation. This situation, if it continues, will influence the quality of graduates and eventually employability. So, what do we recommend? One, there is the need for curriculum modernization to capture trends and changes in the labor market and the agricultural sector. If the agricultural sector is becoming digitized, the training at the university, at the institution, must become digitized as well, so that what the students are trained and prepared to experience is what they will eventually experience in the labor market. Without that, they will be trained and graduated, but will not fit in into the current curriculum. It's like training a round peg for a square hole. Second, there is the need for policy reforms to integrate emerging sectors. In the findings, most of them who are now entrepreneurs are moving into ICT, cosmetics, and other sectors, which means the agricultural education they received is becoming less and less effective in helping them to secure uh, a livelihood, a stable life. Therefore, there is the need for policy to reintegrate or realign, if possible, connect ICT to agriculture, connect confectionaries to agriculture, connect even cosmetics to agriculture. Majority of the natural products used in cosmetics are agricultural byproducts or secondary products or even primary products. So there should be policy that realigns these differing components of vocational skills so that whoever is graduating at any level in vocational education has the digital experience, the widespread sectoral understanding of where he can apply his skills, and eventually equip himself for the labor market. So, thank you very much for listening. I do hope this research influences policy at the national level and, if possible, extend beyond Nigeria to solve, well, unemployment problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Michael, for your insight and also for your presentation. Well, it's quite interesting case actually, and the let's say the one as the solution for the problem that you offer actually is
Mhm.
quite relevant, because in Europe nowadays we used to see a lot of examples. So, for instance, cosmetics made with the flower extracts and other
Yes,
agricultural products. This is quite relevant. I hope that
exactly.
it really reaches certain grounds to find really possibility to implement such projects, at least in
Mhm.
small scale in certain areas, to be a good
Yeah.
example and to extend it somewhere else. It is quite important, in fact. And Nigeria has a really good climate to grow such products the whole year, not only seasonally, in fact.
Yes, they
Thank
do.
you
We
very much.
do. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
Well, now we have Najiba Mohammadi, and she is going to present us her presentation in reducing violence and improving the status of women. Najiba, can you hear us?
Yes.
Perfect. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone, and good morning to all of you. I am Najiba from Afghanistan. I am studying in the University of Ahlul Bayt in Tehran. Today's my topic is uh, reducing violence and improving women's status. But I'm not able to share my PowerPoints.
There is
Now I am
a
going to.
click on the three dots. Now I think we're gonna see it. If you click on the three dots, you will see a point where you can share your presentation. Um it says share a document or presentation with us, and then are you connecting with your computer?
There is nothing like that. When
Share
I click
screen.
on three dots, there is nothing like that. Only there shows show caption, meeting setting, video states, and help.
Does it say share your screen?
No, it does not shows.
Just let me ask also the organizers, perhaps, because Michael had it, and I think as a setting you should have it as well. Affedersiniz, bu konuşmacıların ekran paylaşımı açık değil mi?
Açık açık hocam. Tüm katılımcılar
Nasıl
şu an
bulabilir?
paylaşım.
Şu anda Najibe bulamıyormuş da nasıl buldurabiliriz
Hocam
ona
en
ekran paylaşımını?
altta bilgisayardan mı bağlanıyor, telefondan mı acaba? En altta paylaş seçeneği var. Paylaşa bastığı zaman ekranı paylaşabiliyor direkt.
Kesiliyor, bağlantınız kesiliyor. En altta dediniz.
En altta paylaş seçeneği var hocam. Yani paylaşa tıkladığı zaman ekranını şey yapabilir. Çok mu kesiliyor hocam?
Aynen, maalesef çok kesiliyor bağlantınız. Yani kesik kesik geliyor sesiniz. Sizin videonuzu
Şu an,
alamıyoruz.
şu an nasıl?
Najiba'nınki duyuluyor ama o da dondu şu anda. Bende mi yoksa bir problem var?
Şu an nasıl?
ببخشید من نمیتونم اسکرینمو شیر کنم نمیدونم چرا.
En altta dediniz. En altta ne var?
Hocam paylaş seçeneği var en altta. Yeşil bir buton.
Ha tamam, ben şimdi
بله
söyleyeceğim. Najiba, at the bottom of the screen on the right, there is a green button. If you click on the green button, you will find a spot where you can share your screen with us. Can you see it?
There is nothing like that. I will show like this.
If you see,
Can I
if
show
you
like
see
this?
on the center of the screen, you now make it a whole screen. At the center, you will see a share.
Yes. There is nothing.
Once
like
you
that.
click on the share screen. But
There
I
is
don't see
nothing
your
like
whole
that.
screen. Oh yeah, but not on the PowerPoint. On the Zoom app. Make it on the Zoom app.
I know that, but there is nothing like that. I know that.
Yeah, but we enabled.
I did many presentation on that time. It shows, but this time it's not showing.
It's very strange because if you connect with the computer or even with an iPad, it allows you to share. But it's
You know what? We are in the hostel, and in Iran there is a a scarcity of, we can say, there is no internet connection. That's
Ah,
why
okay.
we are doing just like this.
Okay, then no problem. If you can do it this way, it's
That's why we
still
are
okay.
using our phones. If we use our laptop, it will. I did not prepare my presentation. It will
Mhm.
finish within seconds. That's why I am using my phone.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Can I?
Yes,
May I
please go
start?
on. Please go on.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Today's my topic is reducing violence and improving women's status. Uh, a global imperative for human rights and social progress. Violence against women remains one of the most pervasive human rights violation worldwide, affecting one in the three women globally. This presentation explores the comprehensive strategies in eliminate gender-based violence, avoid list stimulation, advancing women's status across economy, social and political spheres through evidence-based interventions and systemic change, so we can create a world where women live free and violence and free from violence and discrimination. Then, after the current landscape states on the violence against women worldwide, this is the states which shows how women are affected. Uh, Women affected nearly one in three women worldwide experience physical or sexual violence in their lifetime. Daily deaths, women killed by intimate partners of family members every single day globally. Adolescent girls, young women aged 15 to 19, who have experienced forced sexual act. Unreported cases, I think percentage of violence incidents that never reach formal authorities or support system. This figure represents not just statistics but millions of individual stories of suffering, resilience, and the urgent need of comprehensive action across all sectors of the society. Then after this is the understanding of root causes, systematic inequality and cultural barriers. There are some cultural barriers, for example, legal and cultural gaps, normal protection power, discrimination and poverty, reinforced violence, patriarchal system, power dependencies, or economic inequality. Therefore, this is economic empowerment breaks cycle to the financial independence, financial literacy, training program, teaching, budgeting, saving, and investment skills to build economic confidence and capability. Micro microfinance access, small loans and credit, business and generate independent income streams. Skill development, vocational training and professional development, creating pathway to sustainable, well-paying employment. Cooperative models, women's-led collective and support network that pool resources and create economic opportunities together. Economic independence in fundamental to reduce vulnerability to violence. When women control financial resources, they gain the power to leave abusive situations, make autonomous decisions, and invest in their families' future. Studies shows that increasing women's economic participation reduces domestic violence rated by up to 40% in communities with strong support system. Then after that, legal framework that strengthens protection and justice system, comprehensive legislation in enacting laws that criminalize all forms of gender-based violence, including domestic abuse, sexual harassment, and the harmful traditional practice, enforce enforcement mechanism, training training police prosecutions and judge on gender sensitive approach with establishing such a specialist unit for violence cases, survivor-centered justice, creating accessibility reporting system that protect orders and legal and that prioritize the victim safely and dignity throughout the proceeding, accountability system, monitoring compliance, tracking outcomes and holding institutions out accountable for failing protect women's rights effectively. Then after education and liberation, transformation communities through knowledge, formal education, universal access to quality primary and secondary schooling for girls, scholarship and incentives, reducing financial barriers to attendance, safe school environment free from harassment and violence, curricula incorporate gender equality and human rights education, female role model and mentor inspiration continuity learning, community education awareness campaign challenging harmful gender norms and stereotypes, adult literacy program empower women within with black skills, right education information women of protective protection available, parenting programs promoting equality in child rearing practice, media literacy helping communities critically assess messages, healthcare access addressing physical and mental well-being, emergency medical care, immediate treatment for injuries, for violence, including trauma care, forensic examination, and emergency contraception. Healthcare provides training to identify abuse signs and connect survivors with support service safely and confidently. Mental health support, counseling and psychological service addressing trauma, PTSD, anxiety, and depression resulting from violence, group therapy programs building solidarity among survivors with reducing isolation and stigma commonly experienced, sexual reproduction health, comprehensive service comprehensive service including contraception, maternal care, STI prevention and treatment, and safe abortion access, women's bodily autonomy and health choice are fundamental rights requiring protection and support. Then after bystander interventions, it's a training community member to recognize warning signs of violence and safely intervene to prevent harm, empowering a witness to challenge a sexist attitude and behaviors before they escalate into violence. Male campaigns, visible male leaders speaking out against violence and advocating for women's rights. Their violence voice changes the peer attitude and demonstrate that gender equality benefits everyone in society. In conclusion, we can say violence prevent cannot be women's responsibility alone. Engaging men and boys as active allies creates that cultural shift necessary for the lasting change, transformation, the social norm that able violence to persist. Then after technology solutions, digital platforms safely and support safety apps, emergency alert applications allows women to quickly contact help with GPS location sharing during dangerous situation. Online counseling, anonymous digital platforms connecting with survivors with trained trained counselors, overcoming barriers of shame and geographical isolation. Resource director, comprehensive database mapping shelters, legal legal service and support organization accessible through secure online portals, digital training, e-learning platform delivering right education, financial literacy and skills training to women everywhere with internet access. In conclusion, we can say white list. In conclusion, we can say whitelist technology efforts or powerful tools. We must ensure digital solutions do not exclude those women without access. The digital divide means marginalization of women, those most vulnerable to violence, make lack smartphones and internet connectivity. Technology must complement, not replace community-based intervention that each to reach everyone. Uh, then after moving forward, sustainable strategies and call to action, multi-sector coordination, government, civil society, private sector, and international organization must work together within strategies, goals, and coordination strategies. Survival leadership, women will live with experience of violence must guide programs, design and policy design, ensure intervention meet real needs, educate funding, sustainable inventions in preventing programs, support services, and systems strengthening, not just crisis response after violence occurs. Evidence-based practice, rigorous evaluation of what works, continuous learning and adaptation based on data and community feedback for maximum impact. And there in conclusion, we can say violence against women is preventable. We have to know, we have the knowledge, tools, and moral imperative to act critical will and resource of implement solutions at scale. Every woman deserves to live free from violence. This is not negotiable. Thank you so much. Is anyone having a question?
Thank you, dear Najiba. In the end of all the presentations, we will collect also the questions in case if anyone has them. Thank you so much for your insights. Now we are moving to Karuna Shankar, and he's going to present us the rural development in India policy initiative during pre and post independence times. Karuna, can you hear us?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for giving me opportunity. Sir, I want to take little few minutes, sir, if you kindly allow me.
Yes,
Like
sure.
2 or 3, only 5 minutes. I want to take only 5 minutes. I want to make my presentation after 5 minutes.
Okay, I understand. Then maybe we can ask the Seyeda Mohatare to replace you with Seyeda in order to understand if the presentation is ready. Seyeda Mutahare, can you hear us?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
If
hear?
your presentation is ready, we can hear your presentation before Karuna, and once his presentation is ready, we can continue with him.
Sure, I'm ready. I try to upload
Perfect.
my file.
Yeah, you have the floor and also the possibility to share your PowerPoint presentation with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sure. Is it clear now? I shared the
It is
PowerPoint.
still loading. Yeah, we can see your presentation.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time and the opportunity that you have gave me. Okay, here we want to talk about dynamic assessment in the EFL classroom. My article is focused on two mediation, interactionist and interventionist mediation. The first one, the rationale and theory behind this article. The abstract is from testing to enabling in EFL, English as foreign language. The context of my studies, Iranian secondary EFL remains exam dominated, fostering passive learners. There is a global shift demands assessment that enables learning. Dynamic assessment offer, kind of dynamic assessment. And here we have a kind of global shift from testing to enabling learning. This study, as I said, is a classroom length, and it is via two dimensions. The first one is interventionist, and the second one is interactionist. By interventionist, we mean it is something dialogic. It is not it doesn't have a kind of a standardized feedback. And by interventionist, it means it is prescript and it is not dialogic. Sociocultural theory and dynamic assessment roots. First one, by mediated interaction, we mean learning is internalization through social interaction. This is the theory.
We can hear your presentation and we can see actually the PowerPoint, but we cannot see you.
Should I
your camera is not open?
I can open it.
Sure. Much better if you can open, of course, because we see the PowerPoint presentation, but we cannot see you. I see.
Just a minute.
Oh yeah, we can see you now. Yeah,
Thanks.
perfect.
Okay. Where was I?
Sociological theory and DA roots.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting again.
That's okay. Just a minute. I was here, yeah. And the theory was about Vygotsky, as I said. It was a sociocultural theory. According to his idea, learning is internalization through social interactions. The second terminology that is important here is ZPD, which means Zone of Proximal Development. Today's performance with help becomes tomorrow's solo achievement. It relates to students and learners' potential for learning. And by responsive mediation, we mean dynamic assessment merges instruction and diagnosis using tools like language and feedback. To dynamic assessment, families, comparison, teachers need both these two for their classrooms, and they should kind of blend it in order to have a kind of perfect and ideal classroom instruction and process. The first one, intervention, is, as I told you before, it is a script, it is prescript and preset regulatory scale. For example, in Lanchol 1994 mentions this mediation. It has a high reliability, of course, and easy to train teachers. The second one is interactionist. It is dialogic, co-constructed. It has spontaneous mediation, and it has high responsiveness and foster learners' autonomy. About my methodology and study design. I had 3 research questions for my study. The first one is, how do Iranian EFL teachers enact interactionist and interventionist dynamic assessment practices? The second one is, what challenges emerge during the treatment with this dynamic assessment in the classroom environment? And the third one, the impact, is to what extent do these practices influence learner motivation and teachers' instructional decisions? The purpose is to generate an ecologically valid model for, scalable classroom dynamic assessment integration. The process of this study. It is a qualitative study. I had about 6 experienced teachers for my study. It is a case study which took place in Yazd in Iran over 12-week semester. And as I said, 6 experienced teachers, 3 female, 3 male. The range, their experience range for teaching is about 7 to 18 years. And 142 grade, 10 students, intermediate level. The students were on intermediate level. About the data analysis, I should say the first step is to transcribe and anonymize. The step 2 is deductive coding, and step 3 was inductive coding, emergent themes, and step 4 was thematic synthesis. I use a triangulation of data, member checking, peer debriefing, and a strong intercoder agreement in order to increase the reliability and validity of my study. Step 3, about the findings of my study. I should say that about the interventionist group, interventionist dynamic assessment in action, teachers applied 0 to 5 prompt hierarchy. The median help level dropped significantly over the semester. It shows that students internalize the knowledge. For example, look at the time marker. Yesterday, level 3 prompt, self-corrects went. So here you can say the median. And for the interactionist group, interactionist dynamic assessment snapshot, spontaneous exchanges foster meta talk and learner role ownership. For example, here I provide an example. I go to cinema last weekend, so the action is finished. How do we show that in English? I went. Great, you used your own rule. So, the best of both. Teachers C and F began with a dialogue, then switch to a scale prompt if needed. This blended approach yields significant efficiency and effective gains. So the best and the most suitable and appropriate form is to blend these two mediations, these two dynamic assessment together in order to foster learners' autonomy and learning. So 27% faster error resolution and also 18% increase in student-initiated repairs. Limitation of dynamic assessment based on teacher's perspective, of course. The first one is exam pressure. Dynamic assessment slows teachers. For example, they have a curriculum and they have to finish that book. And following these two, mediation may slow them. That's the first challenge. The second one is large classes. The number of students in a classroom is really significant here. For example, imagine that you are a teacher in a classroom with 40 students. Of course, you cannot have dialogue with all of them. You cannot have enough interaction with all of them. The third one is mediation training. I don't know when to move to the next prompt. This is something about the literacy and how should you use prompts, and this is also challenging for teachers. And the fourth one is institutional support, which plays significant role here. No dynamic assessment-based rubrics for grading here. Impact and model. Impact on learner motivation. Dynamic assessment functioned as an effective and motivational catalyst, fostering a sense of progress and safety to learn. 82 of the students' reflections reported a sense of progress. As I said, it is a qualitative study, and and in the process, we achieved a kind of information about their feelings, and we understood that about 82 of the students reported a kind of sense of progress. And a 34% increase in voluntary draft resubmission versus previous term. And focus group, no laugh when I error, a safe learning environment. Impact on teacher decision making. In micro level, we can say that 73 of mediation episodes led to on the spot regrouping for peer scaffolding. In macro level, 5 out of 6 teachers redesigned final exam to include a dynamic assessment speaking phase. So here in macro level, they adapted and they use it in their final exams too, which is really valuable. And according to professional growth, all 6 teachers formed a dynamic assessment community for our presenting the approach locally. So they try to expand it to other teachers, and they use it for their professional growth. Implications of this study. Practical take-home kit for teachers. Translate the hybrid cycle into immediate classroom action with these ready-to-use resources. 5-step hint card, printable guide for skilled prompting. This is the first one, and the second one is a CC licensed dynamic assessment bank, and they use some QR code links for tasks and videos. And future directions. Findings validate blended dynamic assessment in non-Western contexts and point to clear next steps for policy and research. Policy include dynamic assessment, micro-teaching in teacher education curricula. Assessment, schools can allocate 15% of term grades to dynamic assessment-oriented performance. Future research explore longitudinal proficiency gains and AI-mediated dynamic assessment in chatbots like Grammarly for interventionists, for interactionist ChatGPT we have, and DeepSeek, for example. Thank you for listening and for your time and opportunity. If you have any question, I'm all ears.
Thank you very much, Seyeda, for your presentation. Now we are moving to Karuna Shander from Lucknow University. Karuna, can you hear us now?
Sorry, can I exit the room or should I stay here?
Well, we will collect any possible questions after all the presentations are ending, and Karuna's presentation will be the last one. So it's much better in case if you're going to have questions from the audience or from the presenters, of course, then in this case, it would be much better. But you can, of course, turn off your camera, and so there is no necessity for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Karuna, can you hear
Yes,
us?
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Great.
so much, sir.
So the floor is yours with your presentation, which you're going to present us about development and the situation. I suppose it is about the pre and post independence period in India for the rural development, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. So the floor is yours.
Okay, sir. Just a minute, sir. एक सेकंड सर शेयर दैट स्क्रीन
So you plan to share a presentation with us?
Sir, kindly I request you to other participant kindly stop the sharing because
Yeah, she already stopped it. So yeah, Sayeda, you can remove your presentation. Yeah, now she removed her presentation and you can upload yours.
Yeah. My presentation is visible, sir?
Yep, now it is visible. It is uploaded on the screen.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm very much thankful to you and thankful to all organizing this conference and giving me this opportunity to present my ideas, especially on rural development India and policy initiative during the pre and post independence. So, first of all, I'm going to brief summary or abstract of my work. Like this, rural development India has been the central focus of national policy aimed at the improving the social economic condition of the rural population, especially since independence in 1947. Because over the most of the, more than 65% here, about 75% population living in rural areas, and survival on the depend on these activities in rural areas. So during the pre-independence period, several experimental initiatives emphasizes agriculture improvement, education, sanitation, and self-reliance in villages. Post-independence, the focus shifted towards comprehensive development through the plant program. So basically, I'm going to the introduction part. Like historically, rural development was often the perceived as a synonymous with the agriculture advancement, with the emphasis on increasing productivity and ensuring food security. So, however, contemporary perspective have substantially expanded in its scopes. Among the critical components, this expanded visions is the provision of the rural connectivity through the rural infrastructure, which serve as a catalyst for both economic integration and social inclusion. So empirically, evidence indicates the household located near all weather roads demonstrates higher educational attainment and better health outcomes compared to these residing in the remote and the insular areas. In alignment with the current national planning objective, effort are underway to ensure that all villages with the population exceeding 500 persons or more are connected by the double all weather routes within the coming decades, thereby fostering a special acute and accelerating rural transformation. So this is the we can see the paradigm shift in the rural development in India. This is the timeline. Basically, pre-independence, like starting in the beginning 1920, Gurgaon attempt program launched by the government at that time. Government like sovereign initiatives in the Indian business services in 1920, 1921, sovereign initiatives, third projects launched by the 1921. 1945 Africa development schemes and Nikohari project also in 1946. So this is the basic brief initiatives. This is the initiative taken by the that time government in India for the rural development plan. So next is now we can see the basically rural development effort pre-independence. This is a brief again summary, and now I'm going to the this is the post plan period, post independent. What types of initiatives, what types of actions, what types of policies launched and taken by the Indian government after independent, basically in 5 year plans period. So we can see the basically in 1956 community development schemes and 1 second, sir. Uh, Community development schemes 1951, cooperative farming with local participation, Panchayati Raj 1960, 61, 69, 71, area-based programs, and 74, 78 in introducing the concept of minimum needs program, and 1980, 85, and finally strengthening the socio-economic infrastructure, rural development, everything that's spread under the integrated rural development program. So 1985, 92, emphasizing the creating the new employment opportunities, especially program for the income generation through assessed endowment, lands reforms, participation of the peoples for the grassroots level. So in 1990, because of sir, in India, 1991 entirely adopt the liberal policies, like many types of rules and restrictions stopped by the Indian government, like fully liberalized on the in on every ground, like FDI basis, on foreign exchange basis in India, and private sector. So many restrictions already have in our constitutional amendment and policy, means like easily foreigners cannot really invest in India, easily come and cannot come in FDI in India. So lot of initiatives taken by the Indian government in 1991 as a liberalized government. That is, we fully adopt LPG model, like liberalization, privatization, and globalization after 1991, and till still also so many actions on this ground taken by the government of India. So these are the various programs and schemes launched by the and taken by the Indian government for the especially development for the rural program. These are the 5 year plans actions because since independence, India a plan period basically based on the 5 year plans. Every 5 year plans launched by the government of India is still 2017. Then after planning commission launched another long-term project plan like Niti Aayog, commissions, and make a long-term program and easily launched by the year by year plans. So next one is Basically, I'm going to conclude my topic and presentation. Basically, key rural development, key the initiative, national growth focus areas including poverty elevation, livelihood opportunities, and basic infrastructure collaborating among the government, NGOs, and local communities in vital for sustainable rural transition. Basically, sir, I am here mention. I want to mention here that basically our plan, government India plan to 1947. 1947 to achieve a developed as a developed country. So lot of initiatives taken by the previous government and lot of initiatives taken by the current government also to achieve as a developed countries in 1947. Basically, because of 1947 year taken, because of reason behind that, we are 100 years as a independent independence, more than 100 years as a independent country. So this is my presentation. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to share my ideas. Thank you so much to all the.
Thank you very much, dear Karuna, for your presentation. I suppose it is yet a lot to say about this pre and post independence period, but of course, yet it has to be well researched, and it's an area that we don't hear a lot of things nowadays. So I don't know if there are any questions to collect. I don't see in the chat any questions. Do you have any questions to ask to the presenters? Okay, I suppose we can conclude now this session. I thank you for all the participants and wishing you fruitful work with your research topics. Thank you for your cooperation, and thanks also for your contribution. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye. Tamamlayabiliriz sanırım buradaki
Evet hocam.
kısmı da.
Çok teşekkür ederim. Ben de kaydı durdurdum. 12. oturumda bu şekilde tamamlamış olduk hocam. Size de tekrardan çok teşekkür ederim hocam. Çok
Sağ
sağ
olun,
olun.
iyi günler, kolay gelsin.
Sağ olun hocam. Hayırlı günler.